Bro, the market is dead.
What happened, bro? No, I think we broke the X algorithm, man. Who got fucking banned? Maybe I was interacting too much with the Roger Ver tweets this past couple days, and I got put on the X ban list. Holy shit! We just got the band together today, bro. We're running it old school, man. Just me and you and Chris living the dream, bro.
Oh, it
Fuck,
looks like
this is
we got
awesome.
we got a few people in here now.
I
So
love this, bro. I love running it back where it's just fucking me and the microphone, bro. It's just me, you, just chilling, bro.
well, that's reminiscent of when we first started this show. It was almost over a year ago. I think we're on what 15 or 16 months now consecutive of this. The first show we ever did together, we were like, oh, this is gonna be a crazy big show, no promotion, and ended up with like 5 people. So we share all the alpha today. Yeah, we got 12 people now.
Bro, well, you know the way it is, bro. It's like if you can't do it, I mean, you've learned it from podcasting just like I did, bro. If you can't do it with nobody watching, you can't fucking do it. Like you have to be able to do it with nobody. Because that builds the fucking muscle, bro. And so I'm sure that people will roll in. I don't know what happened. No, I'm serious, man. I think X might punish some account. I have been interacting a lot with the Roger Ver stuff over the last day, and so maybe I did blacklist our account a little bit, or at least my account a little bit.
You never know. I also posted something from the Fantasy Top. I don't know if you've seen that. That's the new Blast kind of fantasy football influencer game. So,
oh wow, okay.
You never know.
Downgraded, bro. You know, it's funny. We haven't even talked to any about people getting banned. I mean, there have been a lot of accounts that have gotten banned on X over the last month too. I don't know if you saw that one. I think it was like Nub, some like Solana token. But they had like a real big X account that they had built up that got banned for, I guess, copyright infringement or something like that. I don't even know what that means, but they got banned. You know, Bell's Coin got banned.
Yeah.
There's been some stuff happening on X. Shout out to Elon.
Well, there's some stuff happening in the market, and the stuff that's happening is a downward momentum of significance. Man,
Bitcoin chart. What's the Bitcoin at, bro? What's Bitcoin at right now? Is it
57K, I believe. Here, let me pull it up. And I'm going to be completely honest, though. We're definitely due for some heavy consolidation. I was talking about this last night on the Pizza in the Pond show that I was invited to. I mean, if you look at the Bitcoin monthly chart, it's been 6 green candles in a row, literally just straight up, and 12 months of bull market. So, and Runes, of course, was the top. A lot of people were calling for it. No one really wanted to believe it, but that's okay though, because we're here and we're participating in the Runes economy. I think one of the things that everybody was pretty disappointed in is the lack of volume that's come to Runes. But from what I've seen, I put this post out early this morning, there's a lack of tooling, which I think the non-Bitcoin natives or the non-Bitcoin focused natives, right? Most of the traders came in and they saw the Unisat experience and they're like, dude, fuck this. I am out. I'm not playing this like bunch purchasing kind of game, right? Like BRC20. And then Magic Eden came in and kind of improved the experience with kind of this order book style and with charts and stuff. But I still don't think it's sufficient for, large entities to come in and, do like a $500,000 buy. Like this, it's just like not possible to do that right now without literally pushing the market cap up by like $100 million. And, for that reason, I think it's important to cool off and let people build the infrastructure around Runes. Although, I think the meme coin narrative is strong and, people have been experimenting with NFTs. But again, I'm still quite bullish on the utility aspect of it to this degree. And I'll pass off this question to you, Adam, because I know you like to challenge if things are like this are real or not. but there's a project called Opal BTC, which is a Animoca brand backed company. So Animoca brands are the people behind Sandbox, invested in Yuga Labs and Apes and stuff. You go to their Twitter account and it says Opal, Bitcoin protocol ecosystem powered by Blyph, and Blyph is a rune. What the hell does powered by mean? And then also, does this mean that runes have utility and they're not just meme coins?
Bro, I don't know. When I see something like this pop up that I haven't even heard about, that has 273,000 followers, Jake's got it on the live stream here. I'm just like, what is this, bro? This is like a VC funded scam, bro. I just like,
it is VC funded. Yeah. So they did a spaces the other day with the Animoca brand. So here you can see Animoca's the founder, and they have backing from Magic Eden, Alex Labs, we know, Xverse, Horizon Labs I've heard of. So they definitely have got, this is one of those like VC backed kind of ordinal projects. So it says Opal's vision is to be state-of-the-art Bitcoin ecosystem protocol. It still doesn't explain anything.
What does that even mean?
Crafted to provide immersive experiences across a DeFi gaming technology education and all interconnected with the real world of value. Build with Blyph and become a Genesis partner. So it says launch partners will be able to unlock Blyph token grants, early access, and collaborative innovation opportunities within our ecosystem of partners. And then it says you could earn Blyph, participate in the Galaxy campaign to earn some Blyph.
Bro. All right. How I view this is the VCs are smart. They see what we see. I mean, we're just talking about it. L2s on Bitcoin, the crazy funding that happened on L2s on Bitcoin. Really a bubble in its own effect, right? In its own kind of sense. L2s on Bitcoin are somewhat of a bubble. And they're like, well, what can we do? Which is kind of a semi-light lift here. I mean, have they even released anything yet? Probably not.
There's a light paper. They did a spaces yesterday. You know, that's like that's a ton of effort. So
okay, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you get a couple guys in a room and ChatGPT, you can spin up a white paper in an hour, and you launch this token. You know, the VCs and the rest of them, they hold a tremendous amount of the token. They can play around, do it blast style. You know, where you're earning rewards, yada yada yada, and it's a play where, you know, for how much? $2 million invested. I mean, I can't even imagine they would spend that much, but say $2 million invested, you might get a $200 million return, right? Just on the value of this token. So I look at it with a massive, like a wall of salt getting hit in the face, because it's just like, what is this, man? I just red flags everywhere for me. Not to say it won't work, could, but just, yeah, this is not necessarily the stuff that I get excited about.
So here it says, so for the mission, and also for everyone that's here, make sure that you retweet the space. And if there's any, you know, Runes project that you'd like Adam and I and Chris to review, hit that purple button in the bottom right-hand corner, and we'll sit up here and review.
I'm happy to have you up and come tell me that I'm an idiot and Opal is the future of finance. Like,
I said this before Runes even launched, that I was more bullish on the utility aspect of it than the meme coins. For me, just like meme coins, they make sense, but on Runes, it feels like the Bitcoin community is not a meme coin community. I mean, it's a more serious type culture across the board. I would say the ordinal people are pretty serious, and the Bitcoin maxis obviously are like the most serious people possible. So to me, it just felt like people are going to try to figure out ways to utilize this in whatever protocol or environment that they're going to exist in. But right, what does powered by mean? This is what I put in my post yesterday. I don't know. I mean, Emblem, we've used Emblem Vaults powered by Coval, like, right? What does that mean? It's a very ambiguous thing. Obviously, it means that there's an intent of utility, but what is the intent of the utility? As a project founder, right, you want to leave some ambiguity and room, because the token holders will point a gun at you and hold you to it if you promise some sort of utility and it doesn't come. So the ambiguity is great to alleviate some of that pressure that's put on builders. But we'll go to is it Bitcoin? Bitcoin CEO. What's good?
Hi, I have a suggestion as far as reviving runes and making them great again. Um,
Wait, can we confirm first how long they were great for? Were they great for the
well,
first
they were
10
great
minutes?
for about 24 hours, and then
Okay.
we realized we were just supporting, furries and stuff like that. So my suggestion would be first we start off with some non-fungible rune assets. So first we'll inscribe a 10K collection of non-fungible runes. Then we're going to take those runes and we're going to bridge them to Ethereum via Emblem Vault.
Let's
right?
go. Run it back.
Hold on. There's multiple layers to this. So then we are going to recursively inscribe them via BRC 721s of the Ethereum assets back over to Bitcoin and make them an ordinal inscription collection. Then we will run an airdrop of a BRC 20 for every holder of that ordinal inscription collection, and we'll take those BRC 20s and then bridge them back to Ethereum via Emblem Vault.
Let's fucking go.
Bro,
So you
we've been looking for a new strategist on the team, bro. When can you join, bro?
Well, I mean, you really want to tap into that, degenerate Ethereum liquidity because, ordinal guys, they're so serious. They don't do shitcoins. I mean, the first shitcoin they could think of was a dog with a hoodie that's going nowhere, So I'm thinking that the real way to tap in and bring all the liquidity back to the mother chain is we bridge all our assets over to their chains.
That's what we do.
Solana!
Bridge everything.
Okay.
Everything's going. Everything's
just
going.
put it all on Solana,
Yep. That's what everyone wants, right?
burn all your Bitcoin stuff for Solana.
Guys, let's burn our Pepe. Let's buy only Solana. Gamble. There's riches and trees. The world of wonders of gambling.
Bro, who doesn't like gambling?
Yeah. Right. I mean, runes are in a interesting situation. I was just talking about this morning with some of the OmniSat guys. The traders are not fans of this trading method, right? The bat or you call it like packet purchasing or bulk buys. It also seems like when you look at, we could use like decentralized, for example. A lot of users have no idea how to split this stuff. The airdrop on I'll have decentralized here pulled up. The 910,000 was the airdrop amount. If you hold a Promethean, you look down the board and it's literally just all of those, and it's not really being broken up. And the ones that are in multiples of 910,000 or in half of that, right? These are all the ones that were airdropped. So right now there's not really any sort of customized listing amounts. It's all people just trading the specific airdrop amount and putting an immense amount of downward sell pressure on it, because if everyone's just flooring their airdrop at $5,000-$6,000, right, you need some big buyers to come in. But if the big buyers don't feel like the current market is liquid enough for them to allocate $200,000 or $300,000, then it just continues to go down. So there needs to be some sort of infrastructure improvement that implements a trading style that's more native to these traders, or at least that they feel comfortable to. On the other side, right, when you look at dog is the same thing, right? 889,806 was the airdrop amount, and it's this same situation, although it's been getting better. And we could go look at RSIC, where the amount was different across the board, right? Because it was the amount you earned RSIC, or I guess RSIC Genesis rune, based off of the amount of time that you held the RSIC miner times the rarity that you had, right? So if you had a more rare one, then you got more. And I've been noticing RSIC Genesis has been fluctuating. It's a little bit more volatile than some of these other ones, especially dog, because I think it's mostly trader based, but there's users that are putting different amounts, right? You have just on the screen here, you have like almost all unique listing amounts, where these other ones are not that situation.
Yeah.
Satoshi Nakamoto has unique amounts, right? Because everyone minted those as well. So Adam, how do we improve this environment in runes? Is it
even possible to do liquidity pools? And I mean, I don't even know how it's even possible in that way, right? I mean, we kind of knew this going in, that this was going to be somewhat clunky. I think I've seen a couple things where people have shown, hey, this is how you kind of break up those blocks of rune, to sell in smaller amounts or different amounts. But obviously people, dude, the moment you put up barriers, people just don't even do it. Just floor the whole thing. You know what I mean? And so it creates these weird market environments. Yeah, I don't know. Part of me says that's actually a little bit of, I know you're saying, well, you tend to go down. For me, that actually is a little bit of what I've now learned is plunge protection, because when it is $5,000, you don't get the buys, but you also, you don't get the sells. It doesn't really move. You just get a kind of a stagnant market. That can happen too. So I'm not sure whether it's good or bad for, price. It's obviously bad for liquidity. That's for sure. But I think people will figure it out. We'll figure out this system over time when they realize, oh, if I chop this, whatever, 900,000 into, 50,000 pieces, I'll be able to sell it easier. I think people will realize that, and I'm sure smart traders are already kind of realizing it. I don't know. I'm just pissed. I didn't get the OCM drop for what is it, for decentralized. I was pissed, dude. Like, what? They promised it. They tweeted it out. I was actually in the OCM chat. And
are you sure they airdropped to all OCM holders, all OCM Genesis?
Well, apparently not.
Dimensions, I guess.
I didn't get it. So it must have been like, I don't know. Maybe it was random. Just a percentage of them got it. I don't know. But didn't include me, man. So
they were airdropping to a percentage. I think Quantum Cat's got a full allocation, although I had my Quantum Cat staked on Merlin, so I missed the Prometheans airdrop.
Wait, so I thought they promised to give you that, dude.
That's what they said. I haven't seen it. So
wait, so all of what about the
I was trying to look
to the moon. Did you get that?
The which one?
The dog to the moon.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah. So they did as pre-range kind of that, and the wolf pup one were both in my Merlin wallet. So with Prometheans, right? They said on the website that, or on their tweet, that all 3,333 Quantum Cat holders would get airdropped one, but there was like 200 Quantum Cats that were in the Merlin pool. And I looked into that wallet to where the Quantum Cats were staked, and it only showed one Promethean. So it means that they just airdropped it per wallet instead of per asset, right? So all of us got rugged right there. Wow. But it happens, and you take these risks. You just hope
those rewards are going to be worth it, man.
Yeah, I'll find out 6 months from now, right? Because it's all scaled and stuff. They're not doing too bad over there. They're definitely building. They haven't had any exploits or anything. I know a bunch of users are upset that the bridge takes 7 days, but that's a standard bridge. Like, that's not just a Merlin issue. That's a bridging issue. That's why I use Emblem Vault, so you can unvault in 7 seconds, not 7 days. Right. That's why we're here.
That's our new tagline, man.
Yeah. 7 seconds, not 7 days.
7 days. Exactly.
Right. So outside of that, you look at the current infrastructure. I came across this platform actually quite recently called .swap. And turns out they've been building this for a while, since around the same time we started Omnisat. And I'll kind of go through the website, but this apparently is a BTC. Let's see if you could do runes 2 runes. No, this is only BTC 2 runes, but it is a swap platform that's familiar with them. So you could do dog to the moon for BTC, right? I don't have my wallet signed in here, but this looks pretty nice and is actually pretty similar infrastructure to what we had been discussing at Omnisat over the last year. But one of the mechanisms that I really like, which was something I tweeted out, and this is how I found this project. I put something out and I said, what would be a cool idea to do for pump.fun for runes? And it would be a way for a user to allocate a percentage of the pre-mine to an LP pool. And then you can charge a $1 or $2 tax per mint. And if there's 100,000 mints on the vault, then you have $100,000 in BTC. And then you have, whatever the pre-mine allocation is. So you have a liquidity pool that's bootstrapped upon mint out.
Makes sense.
This team had done it already with Runes Coin DeFi, right? I'm a Messiah.
Who did they move, Lurker?
What's up?
I said put it there where it's dark.
I'm not sure. What was that? What was that?
I have no idea what he was saying. I think
All right,
he's.
what's up,
I think
Damien?
he's heckling us.
Why are you guys making this so complicated? Seriously, like I don't even know what you're saying. I've been doing crypto for 15 years.
Bro, you buy the meme, you sell the meme. It's not fucking hard, dude. How hard can it be, right, brother? You buy it, you sell it.
Yeah. I mean, runes. Okay, did you try runes on Litecoin? I think some of you guys did.
Oh boy, yes,
No.
we did. I tried it.
Oh, you did? You did you mint some?
Why
Yeah.
are you even talking about L2s when we're not even using the L1s that are superior?
Oh, dude, I agree with you, man. I'm in the same.
You
I'm of
guys
the
are
same
major
mindset.
influencers in the space. You should definitely point people to much lower risk, higher reward
Bro,
scenarios than these
people
complex
people
7-layer systems.
people don't want Litecoin runes. I mean, the market is speaking that way. Hopefully they'll come. I mean,
No,
I went.
no. People want wherever the money is, so you tell them where
There's
to
no
go
money there.
before the
There's no
money's
money. There's no money on Litecoin runes.
I'm down horrendous on my Litecoin.
Explain why you think that is.
Why? Because I'm looking at the market and there's literally nobody buying.
Yeah, well, have you noticed that there's a lot of money with bad intentions floating around in the world? Right? You've noticed that, right? So this is like the ultimate game theory space where you just drop money in places and people run there, right? We're like sharks with blood in the water.
Right.
So all that is required is for someone with some liquidity to go to Litecoin.
Yeah, but no, dude.
Okay.
That's the thing. The people that are on Litecoin aren't
but
using their liquidity, dude. That's the problem. It's not that, oh, we're not all racing over to Litecoin. No, it's the fucking Litecoin bag holders who have millions or decamillions of dollars in Litecoin are unwilling to support their own ecosystem. That's why it doesn't fucking work, dude. I mean, we push Litecoin, you know, from the moment they had ordinals, dude, and it did nothing, dude, because Litecoin, the people who actually own Litecoin are unwilling to participate. They're unwilling. And unless you get that willingness of the fucking people who are already there to take on and open up to these new things, it's dead in the water. And Litecoin is still dead in the water.
I have here pulled up Arise Chicken Arise, which is the #1. It was the first inscribed. It has 10 Litecoin in volume in about 5 or 6 days, and I think 2 of those LTC are me.
Well, yeah, let's talk about, how many tools have you shared related to Litecoin?
What do you mean?
Dude, literally every single one, dude.
I'm
I'm just asking because I haven't seen it and I watch your stuff, so maybe it's not making it out there. I don't know why.
I'm probably the only person that talks about Litecoin ordinals.
Dude, I bought some of those fucking whatever Litecoin punks. I have a bunch of Litecoin fucking moonbirds. I have
like your hand right now, gentlemen, because I don't, I'm one of the only ones I know of also. But now we've met.
We've had this discussion multiple times before, to be honest.
the thing, I mean, look, I think you're thinking about it as like that. Oh, the problem is,
as soon as the Litecoin price takes off, everybody's going to be all about these things. If they only care about money.
They only care about money. That's for sure.
And as soon as it starts taking off, then it'll be like amazing technology.
Yeah, but it's never going to take off until
more. You get 4 times more time back in your life too.
Yeah, but you're never going to take off if the underlying infrastructure of Litecoin is not supported by people who are in Litecoin. Like that, to point the blame on other chains or influencers or whatever is missing the point. The point is that the people who hold fucking big bags of Litecoin aren't fucking interested in supporting this infrastructure on Litecoin. If they were, and if they bought Moonbirds at $1 and sent the price higher, people would go over there. But they're not buying shit. They're not involved. They're not spending their Litecoin. So it's all got to be fresh money, and that's a fucking zero, dude. That's a zero. It's people
Well,
who
I
hold
think they
Litecoin
also,
are the issue.
it's because a lot of Litecoin holders don't just hold Litecoin, right? They hold a lot of other things. So they don't need to spend their Litecoin. But I think they also realize that you can let Bitcoin run. There's a lot of liquidity there, and it'll generate all the innovation needed. Leave it centralized or more focused on Bitcoin, and all the stuff works on Litecoin. There's just a few tweaks to be made. I mean, one guy can handle it and has handled it.
Yeah, dude, but it's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. I mean, look, I want it to happen, bro. I got big bags sitting over there. I wish it would happen. What I've realized now, though, is that if there's not liquidity, nobody gives a shit. And like we've seen liquidity on Solana. Guess what? Everybody's talking about bridging to Solana. Why? Because there's liquidity over there. People are spending money over there, right? There's the ability to make money.
You honestly think there aren't multi-billionaires that aren't interested in chains that have superior technology and privacy?
I don't think people give a shit about that. No, they don't give a shit about that. No.
I've been doing this wallet game for a long time. I'm telling you, I know what people care about. And you're right.
When are they going to buy a Moonbird? Tell me when they're going to buy a Litecoin.
They also care about being able to use whatever it is. So it just requires a few applications of the technology. But yes, you're right. Most people do not give two shits about raw protocol technology unless they're heavily incentivized.
What's up, Chris?
Yo, I mean, we talk about infrastructure and lack of infrastructure, but the main point of infrastructure for the last 15 years has been these centralized exchanges. None of these ecosystems had any infrastructure at all. So where are they at? What are they doing? Why didn't they lean into something like Runes? If Magic Eden can kind of tool up even some sort of half-based infrastructure for trading, where's the rest of them? Everyone seems to have moved on-chain to Solana. I think they had 7 million on-chain unique wallets last month. If these exchanges aren't making any money from users buying coins on their exchanges, what are they doing? Why aren't they following the newest trends? I expected them to lean in much more than they actually did.
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, we saw Dog has been added by 5 or 6 exchanges, the smaller ones. OKX came out and added support for RSIC. I think that's the biggest one. And Bybit had recently posted something about Dog, but it's still, right? It's still quite low. I mean, there's 2 ways to get listed on a centralized exchange. Either the demand is so much that these exchanges list it basically under their own discretion because there's money to be made, or somebody comes in and gives them a percentage of the supply so that they can market make the collection. I think RSIC has shown that, there is interest because they're giving OKX a portion of the supply. With Dog, I think is going the opposite direction where there is no listing fee, and therefore there needs to be some sort of organic momentum and price discovery for these exchanges to come in. Outside of that, right, the exchange that I had up here called DotSwap is supposed to be partnering with OKX wallet to build a swap feature inside of the wallet. Also, OmniSat is supposed to be doing the same with Oil Wallet when that comes out, but it is moving a little bit slower. I don't know if it's just because the protocol went live, 10 days ago, 11 days ago. And these exchanges weren't sure because they have to spin up an indexer and do all these different things. That's a little bit maybe out of their discretion, or maybe they're just focused on Solana, right? that's the hot girl in the room that everyone wants to go to. I mean, also too, some of the big BRC20s that were trading as pre-runes, right, like Pups and Wizard, still have yet to do their migration, and those were getting a lot of attention as well, pre-runes. It's still tough to know. I think it comes down to a lack of infrastructure. The traders aren't here because they don't like the trading style. It's not something that they're familiar with. There's no liquidity pools, and if we look at BRC20 as as an example, really the only liquidity that came, or most of the liquidity that came, was once it started getting listed on centralized exchanges and arbitrage opportunities. But it still lacked, BRC20 even lacks, right, the DeFi aspect. They tried to do that with the Unisat swap module, which ended up trapping, I think, like hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars in BRC20. That's still
Wait, what was that? I
nuts.
don't remember that. What the hell?
Oh, you don't know this? You don't remember this? Let me go to
I don't
Unisat.
remember.
I was just talking about this last night on a podcast. So if you go over to Unisat, if you remember this Unisat, or this was around the same time, or like the same kind of, I guess, lack of momentum that was in the BRC20 experience. So look, they even says that to prepare the coordination of feature delivery itself. So it looks like they even removed it, honestly. So somebody's getting screwed here. Basically, it was kind of the similar situation that Runes is in now. Is they were like, okay, the trading experience sucks. How do we bring something more DeFi native to get people to swap? And so they built this kind of Uniswap style module, but what they called it was a black module, to where you could only deposit. There was no way to withdraw until the protocol got removed or upgraded, I guess. And people were depositing, hundreds of thousands of dollars in sats and ordi, I think rats at the time. And they kind of just like abandoned it. And
So you could deposit it, you could swap it, but then you couldn't withdraw anything.
Mm-hmm. And the issue became, and they had swap pool, or they had LP pools and stuff like that. The issue became is users didn't want to deposit BRC20 into something they couldn't pull out. Right? It was just like, it's like what's the point of that? And so ultimately, what we have pulled up here on the live stream, you can see it says, to prepare for the upcoming code release, indexer coordination, feature delivery itself. It says the service of the BRC20 swap on Unisat is temporarily paused until the proposal finalization. And this has been now going on, maybe 7-8 months at the time. There's right. Oh, so they posted this April 8th, 2024 about the announcement. So it's been about a month since they recently addressed it. And it looks like, yeah, there's a pause, and that basically they have to kind of figure this shit out on their own.
Jesus.
It happens. It was funny on the show I was on last night. I was saying, as a builder, you start to realize, and you look around at a lot of these, infrastructure companies or like big players, and every single one of them has this like some sort of product that they tried to launch that ended up failing horrifically, and they try to just like tuck into the corner to drill with later. So I don't know how to do this. It's kind of like the Emblem legacy migration. It's like, right, just kind of something that just continually sits there and grows in pain. And you look around, and a lot of these kind of products and marketplaces and stuff have something similar to this. But how it gets addressed, I don't know. But I know there's a large amount of sats and ordi that's kind of trapped in there.
Oh my God. Wow.
Right. And this is what you do when you're on kind of the frontier of a new, that was fungible tokens on Bitcoin. Here, we're going to be in the similar situation, I think, for a few months, where people are just going to take stuff and try to throw it at the wall. Going back to, dot swap here, this was an interesting experiment to where, right, you can dedicate a percentage of the pre-mine to an LP pool, for the token side, and then you charge a fee per mint that gets placed on the Bitcoin side. So here with Runes Coin DeFi on dot swap, it looks like the team reserved 10% to go to the LP. And then they charged the 4,618 sats, which is about $2.60. And it says they raised 2 Bitcoin. So now there's an LP pool with 10% of the Runes Coin DeFi plus the LP on the other side. And this product's been largely, I think, under discussed. It seems like it's an Asia a native company, so maybe the marketing's just been a little bit bad. But you look at the interface, and it doesn't look like too bad. It's a little bit more native to like the Uniswap experience. There was an issue with that. I was talking with somebody. They're saying that this could technically be considered a crowd sale, because if the LP is owned by the team, right, then you're basically raising Bitcoin on the other side, and the team's getting rewards, right? So it's technically a crowd sale. So this would probably not be legal in the United States, which is why this is an Asia focused company.
But they only raised 2 Bitcoin though.
That's 2 Bitcoin for the LP. Right. So they took 10% of the
You can't
pre-mine.
even hold your own Bitcoin anymore in the United States.
What?
Self-custody is illegal in the United States almost.
Yeah.
Almost. We're getting there.
But so basically, right, so they have 120K on the Bitcoin side, and then they have 10% of the Runes DeFi coin on the other side. The thing, though, is that the fees, right, that were per mint ends up becoming owned by the team because they're the one that owns the LP position. So, right, a cool experiment. We'll see if it really takes off. But I think the premise of why I'm saying this is that there's going to be a lot of these different type of things that pop up over the next 3 to 6 months or for the rest of the year to try to figure out what's the hit, right? What's going to bring momentum and energy and liquidity to Runes outside of just the native ecosystem? Because right now all you really have is selling pressure, because you still have 2 of the largest coins still have to migrate, right? You still have Magic Internet Money, and you still have Pups World Peace. If there's no buyers, right, there could be buyers. There could be, right, where people are just waiting for it. But it seemed like most people were
probably not if Bitcoin's down, right?
Right. If Bitcoin's down and most people were buying the BRC20, they're going to be selling it on after the migration, right? Unless there are people who are waiting. But to me, it seems like that's more of a sell the news event at this point now because Bitcoin's down. So there could be a lot more pain here.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it, I think, when Dog dropped it, it was like, well, is that 320 million or whatever? And it still looks like it's still right there. I'm actually kind of surprised it hasn't dropped into the, the hundreds, or even lower. These things could go way lower. But the way, I mean, it's impossible to, we're all just guessing, but you think about any of these real meme coins, and I just posted a video of it was the Doge chart over time. And bro, I think I tweeted out like, how many of you could have held on through these fucking, just complete destruction events, right? And the reality is almost none of us. Go ahead, Damien.
I'm telling you right now, you guys, this stuff is like a week old. Litecoin's Runes are a week old, and y'all want to throw it out the fucking window already. You're crazy.
Well, I mean, I'd be more I don't know. What do you consider a safer play? Do you think Bitcoin Runes are a safer play, or Litecoin Runes?
It's such a better experience than Bitcoin's, and you will have privacy. Okay, when you can't even do self-custody, you guys don't even talk about the self-custody problems, right? That should be like our number one focus. If you care about Bitcoin, you're gonna hate Bitcoin if you can't hold it yourself, right? Like why are you even going to talk about some technology that you got to ask somebody to use? It's crazy.
I agree with you, man.
It's the number one story.
I think. Well, I don't disagree with you. But those sort of conversations typically don't get many listeners. But one thing I think is an issue with Litecoin, and not only Litecoin Runes, but also Litecoin LCT20s, is the majority of people feel like you're getting dumped on. Basically feel, because if you can mint these things for basically free, every secondary buyer becomes you're just getting dumped on, right? And
what is it when you make a rare Pepe from nothing and you sell it for like hundreds of thousands of % gain?
Right. Yeah, that's the same thing. He's talking about in the low transaction or low fee environment. It makes it very difficult to increase the value of an asset. This isn't native.
Oh, I thought that's what was amazing about Solana. It's faster and cheaper. So that's exactly
not necessarily the value
compared to Bitcoin.
You're not letting us finish.
Sorry, go ahead, Jake.
The whole idea is this is not just a Litecoin issue. This is similar on e-scriptions. Doginals is the same. This was an issue with Solana for last year, right? The whole issue with Solana, even if you remember last cycle, was that it's just a bunch of poor people dumping $5 on each other.
Exactly.
Right? Like that was the whole narrative. And so when there's a low transaction environment, it makes it very difficult to get that like breakaway kind of momentum Solana finally hit it, but it took them, 2-3 years of very active and very active development from not just developers, but users and liquidity, and literally tens of thousands of people participating in this ecosystem. Right now, Litecoin has 10 people participating in the Ordinal
exactly
ecosystem.
why you can gain thousands and hundreds of thousands of %. And that's exactly what you're trying to guide people to, but in such a more complex way. Okay, you're looking for the same kind of alpha. You're just looking for alpha to spread the alpha. This is the alpha, man. There's no better alpha out there right now. You're going to get amazing gains on the underlying asset, which is layer one. You're going to have privacy. You're going to have speed over Bitcoin. You're going to have extendability over Bitcoin. All this stuff has been shown to be useful in SegWit. SegWit was first implemented by Litecoin. This stuff is just happening on Litecoin first, but you're not using it. And you're trying to make all this old, like it's the same story, man. It's like,
I understand what you're saying. And you're saying, hey, look, and for listeners here, you can go over to Litecoin right now, take a few $100 in Litecoin. Shoot, you can make your own runes. You can, etch them. You could etch
for $200.
For $200, you can get a big fat bag of something. Our point is, yes, that's true. Absolutely. And it could be a better experience. It's not a better experience now because the tooling is not built. But you do have these advantages over Bitcoin. That's for sure. You have advantages over Bitcoin. No doubt about that. I'm a big fan of Litecoin. But at the end of the day, if nobody cares about it, it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the main thing. If nobody cares about it, like, you can go over there and it might be a good bet to throw $1,000 or a couple $1,000 over there. I'm not saying it isn't. I have myself. It's like a long-term lottery ticket. But does anybody ever care about that lottery ticket? It's very possible that nobody ever cares.
Yeah. No, see, there would be no rare Pepes. There would be no art collectibles. There would be no art scene whatsoever. If what your hypothesis
No. Tell me who over on Litecoin right now are the 15 dudes who supported rare Pepes early on. Name me some of those guys, because I know the 5 guys who are on Litecoin, and none of them are artists in the way that the Pepe guys are supporting that. We have a handful of builders on Litecoin, a very, very small handful of builders.
You're talking to one.
Basically zero community.
A fake rare artist building on Litecoin. Motion Mort, he's building on Litecoin. We have new artists coming up on Litecoin already. And we only started this like a couple weeks ago. Like, okay. You're wrong. You just
all right. Well, I'm corrected then. But you just told me it's been going on.
Room of 10.
You're telling me it's been going on for 2 weeks, bro. Come on, man. And you're telling me to buy into it. It's 2 weeks old.
But you're saying that there's only 10 people, and you're saying nobody else should try because there's only 10 people.
Bro, I did not say, dude. You're not listening. I said it might be a good bet to go throw a couple grand over there.
It's the best
as a long-term bet
to spend time on it, because I'm telling you, I've seen I was there at the meetups and the conferences when there was nobody there sitting listening to Andreas Antonopoulos talk. Like, I'm telling you, this is the same story.
All right, maybe you're right. I'm not saying you're necessarily wrong, bro. I hope you're right. I pray you're fucking right, bro. I pray you're right. I want you to be right, dude. If you're right, you can come visit me on my fucking private island, bro. I'll send you my jet.
Yeah, Damien, we talk about Litecoin ordinals every Thursday on the Inscription Show. So I invite you to join us every Thursday on the Inscription Show for the Litecoin ordinal segment. We have been
but you guys also trade Solana. I can't trust people to trade Solana.
Okay. Well, then,
what are you in this room, bro?
But I can't trust it. I got to verify. Like, it's already
okay. Well, go ahead and listen to the
Solana to begin with. It's crazy.
Go ahead and listen to the last.
Do you not remember that?
Nope, you're being muted. Stop, or else I'm gonna have to force to kick you off the stage because you're not listening. Not listening. Every Thursday since Litecoin ordinals has been created, we have a segment for it on the Inscription Show. Join us tomorrow, and we'll talk about it more. Until then, if you don't trust us, don't join the show. The evidence is there. I minted sub 1,000 ordinals. I I minted 2 different collections, sub 1,000 ordinals.
We were literally there at second 0. Literally, the moment it was launched, we were there, bro.
I bought light when it was literally under a penny. I think it's back under a penny. I've been there. I'm talking to all the builders in the space. Again, right? It could be a big bet, but right now there's a limited amount of infrastructure. And the reason why, and it has a segment on our Thursday show, but there's not much to talk about, right? Runes came out. I think you have still less than 100 that have been etched since it was launched on Thursday. 111. Okay, you have a week and you have 111. And you go over to Bitcoin ordinals, and it has Bitcoin runes. And there's now 64,000. And also you go over to Doginals, Dunes. Dunes has existed for almost 3 months now at this point. There's no minting. There's a minting service. There's no etching service, right? So what the fuck's the point of that, right? To me, that is also a miserable fail from the Dogecoin community. You allow people to...
You really are this early, and it's really just...
Damien, stop, please. Let me finish. Jeez. With Dunes, you have the ability to mint from the user side, but you can't etch anything. So you're basically minting things that people delegated a pre-mine to, or minted part of the supply, or you have no idea what's being etched. To me, that's also a big fail. They also had a multi-month lead on ordinal, or on Bitcoin runes. Obviously, the market is showing it is much more interested in Bitcoin runes than Dogecoin runes or Litecoin runes. Does not mean that the other two will fail. It just means this is where the attention is. This is where the builders are. Because Adam's point, this is where the liquidity is, right? And so, we have these conversations very often of the chicken or the egg problem. This is something we talk about in Emblem. And if you're a builder in this space who's building a protocol, this is the question. What comes first, the users or the liquidity, right? And then the bigger question is, how do you attract either one if you have none, right? And so there's many ways to go about this. Some people use market makers, right? Some people use influencers. There's a whole variety of ways and mechanisms to do this. And Litecoin runes and Dogecoin runes also have to go through this. They got to figure out, they don't have either right now. They don't have liquidity. They don't have users. Whoever's a part of the community, Damien, you and the Rare Pepe guys, or whoever it is, we got to figure it out, right? And this is why we have these discussions. But right now, Bitcoin runes is setting the example and the playbook for what you need to do on Litecoin ordinal, or on Litecoin runes and Dogecoin runes. And until, something pops, we get to have this discussion, and we focus on Bitcoin runes because that is where the attention is. It does not mean we're dismissing it. Again, I own Litecoin runes. I own Dogecoin runes. So does Adam. This is just where the conversation is, because this is where the attention is.
I mean, I would even say, even layer on top of that, it's like runes is actually very comparable to early Counterparty, right? Where people were inscribing names. And I mean, you talk to old guys back then, literally thousands. They were doing thousands of names, everything from Apple to Microsoft to, marketing and lawyers and every word under the sun. The vast majority of those have zero value today. Totally zero, complete zero, right? Only a handful of something that was either innovative, new, or connected with our communities. Obviously, Rare Pepe, gaming, Spells of Genesis, stuff like that are the things that have any value. So, I mean, just Bitcoin runes, perfect example of the first 10K. I mean, I know a lot of people were talking about 10K, but bro, how many of those in a decade are going to have any value? It's possible none have value, right? But my gut says, like, there will be handfuls, there will be, blocks, and, it's certainly not going to be all. But to Damien's point, there is opportunity, and often looking away from where everybody else is paying attention and going in the other route. Like, dude, that's what we do. That's what we love doing, right? Who doesn't love doing? I mean, that's part of the fun of crypto, is trying to figure out where people aren't paying attention to. Litecoin runes would be a perfect example, and go and play around in there. And the beauty of it is that you can play around over there for $50, and actually get some decent sized bags. So We're with you, Damien.
Yeah, Damien, check what number 51 etched rune is on Litecoin, and then ask us again if we've participated in it. So just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, no, I thought I saw it. I put a video up top for people that don't know how to do it. We got one going on. A mint. It's free. It's like 215 Latoshis. It's ridiculous. Do the math on that. It's like a 10,000th of a cent.
Awesome. I'm gonna go to the hands. We're gonna go to every day, and then we're gonna go to Don Rooney's.
You're muted every day. Can't hear you.
Maybe he's rugged.
Is he rugged? Chris, can you hear him?
I cannot hear him.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, we got you now, man.
There he is.
Hey, good. Well, first thing is, I came on stage because I want to hear from Dr. Popper, right? That's one of the most entertaining things in my life right now is Hooked on Rooney's. So I can't wait to hear what his take is. Yeah, I think you've mentioned it multiple times, right? We're in an attention economy, and I listened to a pretty fascinating space. I wasn't even aware of the Taproot Wizards guys, the Quantum Cats. They did that whole thing to get attention on a bit for OpCat.
Yep.
And, I used to know a lot about the coding, and I would dig into that, and I was really interested. I was a huge follower of Antonopoulos, Andreas and the Let's Talk Bitcoin gang. So are you seeing that in the background, that the developers are waking up and starting to actually get a renewed interest in building again and pushing Bitcoin forward, because we're seeing things like Litecoin and Dogecoin where I don't know, developers are jumping in and they see opportunity. Do you guys see that on the Bitcoin side with things like OpCat coming through?
Yeah, to a degree. I don't know. I'm personally not a well-networked person in like the Bitcoin developer community. I guess the hardcore Bitcoin developer, like the core developers. But most of the builders that I see that I can speak to for ordinals and runes and atomicals and all the like newer meta protocols are all builders from other chains for the most part, whether they came from BSV or Stacks or Ethereum or Solana. And then there's a few various ones like Hedera and ICP. And so all those users who are bringing their experience from these other chains to come over and build. And you see like the expertise from whatever domain they're from is generally the products that we're building. So for example, the 3 top marketplaces in the early days were all people from Bitcoin SV, right? It was Ordinals Wallet, OrdSwap, which is now RAP, and Unisat were all builders from Bitcoin SV. So they came in and they were able to be the first ones to the scene. Now you're seeing with runes, right? It's generally the builders who are from Ordinals are building on runes because they're familiar with BRC20, they're familiar with the products. I haven't really seen anybody, any newcomers so far that are maybe, like what Chris was saying earlier, like any of these traditional, quote unquote traditional, or like long-standing infrastructure companies, whether there's something like a Coinbase or something a little bit smaller, of an exchange, but that's been around for a long time. They haven't came to runes, maybe because they're just not familiar with how to build on Bitcoin. And there is a quite a steep learning curve of building on Bitcoin versus building on Ethereum and Solana and some of the other VMs. So I'm actually a little bit surprised, just like Chris, is that we haven't seen any new runes builders yet. I mean, we did talk about Opal, which was the Animoca backed kind of company, but that's more of a project, although it does say infrastructure. But there are builders that are coming, but it seems like with runes, it's just the same people from Ordinals so far.
Yeah, it seems like there's a bunch of different layers to why something becomes successful, right? And there's virality, which just has a life of its own. But I feel like we need developers to be a part of the equation. The marketing piece, right? There's a marketing playbook that is being rinsed and repeated over and over. And then there are artists. Artists rotate to the new chain or where the liquidity is. But I feel like the developers have to be behind the scenes to push it forward or make something new and interesting.
Yeah, we certainly saw the builders followed the money with ordinals, right? And so we saw it happen. And we were commenting on it at the time. It was, how quickly it was being built out, as people saw opportunities, and obviously people made millions of dollars with those moves. And and then you got the bigger companies like Magic Eden rotating in once they finally saw the true opportunity smartly. They rotated in as well. And so yeah, that seemed to be the way. It was like the money was first, or interest was first. Some people would call it marketing or influencer marketing or whatever. That came first. Then we saw money, and then we saw the builders. That seemed to be the strategy. Or I don't even know. I think it's just organically. That's just the way it happens. But yeah, what's up, Hook?
Rooney's. Mr. Rooney's.
On Rooney's. Are you guys sold out yet? Did you guys etch out?
Look, hey guys, it's Dr. Papa over here. We don't have a market cap. We got market capsules that are Rooney's, okay, and that tastes good, and it's just gonna take a little time for people to give it a chance and give it a try. But we okay. We taking that journey. But I was down at the Litecoin Lounge, and I was talking to Crystal. She's a performance artist down there. She also works at the Dollar Tree. Okay, and she told me energy flows where the liquidity goes. And she said there's no liquidity right now down at the Litecoin Lounge. And she hasn't been doing much dancing. Okay, So yeah, I hope things pick up for Crystal. She's a fine young lady, and she could use some liquidity over there.
So you recommend taking these pills over buying something before an ETF that is destined to happen? You understand it is going to happen, right?
Well, it's one of those things where if you're concerned about your health, they're just gonna make you feel better. Okay. so it's not money, it's medicine.
Well, as I'm looking at Hooked on Rooney's right now, apparently I'm the only person who etched a Hooked on Rooney's. me and Hooked are the only ones, bro.
Peddling meth.
Hooked on here. Let's pull it up here. Rooney's.
And that kind of has been the case. I've seen many things with high liquidity have like horrible, evil things behind them. Have you ever asked yourself why?
Repeat what you saw. I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
Well, we're talking about how the liquidity draws in the attention, and that's where everyone wants to, be and dance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, have you noticed that many things with like horrible messages, evil messages that you would not want to show your kids or have like representing your species in the future, maybe, but those are the things that get a lot of liquidity and get a lot of attention. Have you noticed that?
Oh, everything that gets attention gets liquidity. Tell me something that gets a ton of attention and doesn't get liquidity.
That's what I'm saying. You know that there are a lot of evil people out there with a lot of money. Right, and they put their money.
I know there are a lot of good people with a lot of money too. I know them personally.
We can concur.
Well, yeah, but you do know how the Federal
industry.
Reserve works, right?
How does that work? I would like to know.
Yeah, I bet you would, wouldn't you?
No, because
I just know I'm going to go etch some more Hooked on Rooney's. How is this only 5%? It's not even 1% minted out yet.
Yeah, Rooney's. Man, we gotta get
Rooney. You need to up your game, bro. You're not selling enough, man.
It's promoting the wrong message. It shouldn't get any money.
Rooney's, we gotta help you out over there, man. What number etching are you, by the way? I think it was like a low etch.
Rune
you are number 1035 now. Nice, dude. Nice. Well, I always appreciate you coming in, Rooney's. I know you're struggling out there in the streets. Oh, how funny. Yeah. It brings an interesting point, right? Rooney's and some of these like early 10K ones, because I think the Runes NFT craze really started a little bit after 10K. As having this conversation with somebody as well. This happened in BRC20 quite often, where you have a lot of these like early BRC20s that were barely minted, and then 6 months down the road, there's some sort of meme that was posted, and then people go to find these BRC20s and they would go mint them out.
Yeah.
And it would start trading like crazy. I feel like that'll happen at Runes in some point. And it'll actually be much easier to trade because there's no transfer inscription. So there's going to be some meme market. Some memes may come later at a time. Once there's more interest in liquidity. I mean, like when you look at the Solana meme coin space, all you need is just one little tweet from Ansem, right? Or one pre-sale or one ounce of FOMO, and it just literally piles capital into it. Right. And same with like pump.fun and stuff like this. So it's just going to take time to build it out. But I wouldn't fade some of these early 10K runes just because they're not minted out, because there is a possibility that in the future somebody's going to tweet out some sort of word, right? Like there is no second best, or there's a handful of those that are kind of native memes that'll end up getting minted out. And then we'll look back at this conversation and be like, God, we're an idiot for not just making all of these now in a low fee environment.
How did I not buy more hooked on Roonies, man? Or Damien talked me out of it with telling me it's bad for people. And so I didn't buy more hooked on Roonies. When Rooney's out here every day in spaces, bringing entertainment and value to the community, like
It's trash.
So
compared to the Pepe's, it's trash.
But this is the thing, Damien. This is actually an interesting point. Like with Rooney's, and he's trying to, he's got a fair mint. I think he minted, he got, one pre-mine for himself or whatever. Right. So it's a completely fair mint. It's sitting there at under 1% etched out. He's in spaces, chatting every day, being silly, playing the fool, hoping that people might catch on to his thing. What's a different strategy for your Litecoin runes that you're going to do to build community? I mean, this is like, how else do you do it? Honestly, I just don't even, other than like what we tend to despise in the space, which is like teams who are basically allocating 20% of the supply to themselves, and they're kind of artificially pumping prices and stuff. What would be other ways of doing it?
Well, you could we start by doing like a regular, the format is like do a regular community gathering and do something that's exciting for the community if you want people to show up, something with an incentive. So giveaways are one thing. You can also have auctions, and you can have, there's not going to be people making derivatives of Roonies. That's why it doesn't work as well for him. But for something like Pepe, where it's like a decentralized, idea that everybody can own a little piece of, and everyone likes to be an artist, or is destined to be an artist if they just take the time and get into the creative state. They can make a Pepe. I think a lot of people have figured that out, and that's why there's so many Pepes, and they're diverse, and it's like a cultural movement. So it works really well as a meme coin because it's a real meme. It's not like a joke. It's not some kind of like, hey, I want to catch this wave.
It's only a real meme because it was memed into exist. It wasn't a real meme when it was first put out there. It's because everybody buys into it and spreads it. That's the whole point.
Yeah, but there's certain things that are forces of nature that only happen once. Like, certain types of volcanic eruptions only are going to happen
Can
once.
I jump in here for just a minute? It's Dr. Pop again. I'm sorry, I got rugged a little early. I apologize for that. Now, Pepe's creator, Matthew Furry. What's his name? That dude has
He's
not.
just a sperm donor.
Correct, but the community ran with it. Now, you can sit here and call me a forced meme or whatever. That's fine. But would you actually maybe consider that this entire space is sick, and this might be a little bit of commentary on the problems of the space? I don't know. It's just a thought. Now, community gatherings and merch and all of these kinds of utility, give me a break, man.
Wait, my fanny pack's not in the mail? I thought you said my fanny pack was in the mail, bro.
Give me a break. You guys are straight up tripping.
Hold on. A lot of people
lying to yourself.
No, hold on a second. Just pause.
You're lying to yourselves, okay?
Are you a guy or a girl?
I take deep and I'm offended.
Are you male
I'm
or female?
offended.
What's your
Shame
pronoun?
on you, sir. Okay. Now
are you,
listen
Phil?
up. Listen up here. You guys know why you're here. Okay? Don't try to twist it. Don't try to play it. We know everybody's here to jump on somebody. Get it right. Okay? Don't even try
Hold
to
on.
twist it.
Why do you go to a
Get
happy
in
hour and
get
hang out
out,
with people?
and you leave retail with the bag. They call it
Why
dumb
won't you
money,
acknowledge that a meme network is actually a social network?
Oh, it absolutely is. I believe in memes, but I don't believe that you get the ability to determine
Well, the
which
people
ones
that are
are
going to hang
cool,
out and talk
which
about
ones are
taking
bad,
pills are
which
not the
ones
kind
have
of people
fanny
that you
packs.
want to hang out with in a social network.
It's a network, it's community, and our goal here, okay,
Your community is based
people.
on the ideas. The meme is like the most essential piece of the idea.
Well,
It is
we
the
got
genetics
ideas.
of the
We
idea.
got
You're
we have
seeding your
fruitful
fractal.
All right, we're gonna put a pause on that. We do love the memes. The conversation wasn't getting a lot of places. We do love the Roonies. We love Pepe. To the advantage of Pepe, the meme has been being built out for almost 2 decades now at this point, since it was originally created. So it's got a long history. It's got a little bit of an advantage there. We all do love Pepe though. I do want to call on Major, who did have his hand up. He, she, they, and yeah, what's good? You there, Major, the ordinalist?
Your mic's muted.
If you're talking. If not, then sorry. I had everyone on mute still. Sorry about that, Major. Go ahead.
No problem. Yeah, I couldn't unmute. Yeah, I minted some hooked on Roonies just right now. I got convinced. I have a question. I like your show. I'm always listening in. I wanted to do a launch. I etched one, and it's called Make Number Go Up. And then I did it wrong where the block height was too soon. I wanted it to have more time to mint out, and then it just closed up. And then I ended up with whatever I minted. Now I have the entire supply of Make Number Go Up.
Yeah.
What should I do with that? Should I like airdrop it to someone?
Send it to Satoshi.
Or, like give it away?
Send it to the Satoshi address. There you go. Yeah, I have a couple of those, man, where I actually misspelled words and stuff. Oh my God. Down terrible.
Oh.
Yeah. I would just, put it in your pocket. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys. But yeah, hooked on Roonies. I mean, nice to meet you. It's nice to I think you're doing meme right.
One day we'll all just be like hooked on Roonies, man. You were a genius, bro. Remember those early spaces? Now you can't even get the guy to come on your podcast anymore. He's too big. He's like Matt Furry. You got to go through you got to go through his people to talk to him. And here he was on our space, and we get to talk to him. Amazing, bro.
Yeah, I pulled up Make Number Go Up. So this is just so people can see what happened here.
Yeah.
So there's 10 million minted out of 340 quadrillion or maybe septillion, something like that. But because he put the block time before, it'll only ever have 10 million supply, even though there was a potential of 340 quadrillion or whatever that number is, eats the 36. So for those that are etching, just make sure that you set the block height at the right time. I have seen a handful of situations like this happen.
Yeah, I would even recommend not setting block. I mean, this is the thing. Well, I mean, I guess who was doing it? Skrilla was doing it for like a giveaway of a 1 of 1, where he set it for like 1 block in the future. He's going to let everybody know. He's let everybody know, and you can try and go and etch it and be the one to etch the actual, one that's available. But yeah, and I did one too, just to play around with it. But yeah, if you don't know what you're doing or you set the wrong block height, it could be very, very far in the future, or you wreck yourself and it's already passed.
Yeah.
Use the relative.
Yeah. You know what I do find interesting is uncommon goods. I have the alpha page pulled up on Luminex, and every day, literally since maybe 2 or 3 days after, or every day since the fees came down, I guess is a better way to put it, uncommon goods has been the most minted token. It's literally been the most minted. I don't know. So it makes you wonder, right? Are people doing this because they don't know? 10 days in, you can't not know that it's an infinite mint for 4 years. So are people doing this for the collectability? Do they just want to pay the miners? Is it an ode to Casey? Adam, what do you think the issue, or what do you think it is here that's causing people to mint uncommon goods as the leader every day?
People, it's the same reason. I don't know what Casey put out that, his collection, and he did like fun exclamation point, and people went and minted that BRC20 because the initial mint for that BRC20 was like back in May, and everybody's like, oh, it's Casey's, right? And I think this is kind of the same thing. It's like people feel like maybe something's going to happen with it. Maybe Casey's going to support it more. Maybe, and so you just get this kind of like, it's FOMO, right? And I just think
it's the first. It's the very first one, right?
Mm-hmm. But the theory is, I mean, it's 4 years to mint out, right? So, you could wait for the next bear cycle and mint it in the cheapest cheapest fee environment, and I'm sure people will. But it is interesting to see that people are still,
So here's the stats on it, just so people can be aware. So the top mint, or the most mints for any token, is Fihu, which is the number one. It has 1,111,111. Second is Uncommon Goods, which is Rune Zero, which is Casey's, the creator of runes and ordinals. It has 679,777 mints, and this mints out, right? Again, it's an infinite mint until the next halving. The third most mints is Satoshi Nakamoto, which is the number 6 rune, and it has 168,000 mints. So you're saying Uncommon Goods has almost 4 times as many mints as anything else outside of the number one. And this is, again, an infinite mint. So basically what a lot of people are how a lot of people are saying this is that, it's essentially a waste of money, or you only want to mint it in a low fee environment. And I have seen some claims of saying that there could be some arbitrage opportunities between the low miner fees and uncommon goods. And if you can mint a bunch in a low fee environment, then essentially you're putting a value on like a tokenized miner fee of some nature. I actually put a thought experiment out last night as well. I said, who's going to be the first project to leverage uncommon goods as a native token in their project? And it was actually met by a lot of kind of skepticism. It was like, what's the point? The floor, you can't manage the floor. It's valueless, whatever. What if Casey just says, hey, in order to get one of my 1,000 pictures of his ordinal, you have to buy uncommon goods, or you have to pay uncommon goods, right? That could for sure be something Casey does, because, he's at least from what I've seen in my experience around him, he does not seem financially motivated for a lot of things. Of course, everyone wants money, but you could see something like that where you're just like, hey, you have to have uncommon goods to buy this, or a bidding war. And maybe that's what people are speculating on, or some other project. But it'll be interesting to see how high the circulating supply this actually gets, because it has 679,000 in the first 10 days or so.
I like the comment on YouTube. Somebody said probably a miner's side hustle. And I don't think that's necessarily wrong. Like a lot of these you figure they're they know how to work these fees where they're paying, the lowest possible amount to inscribe these. Although it still seems strange they would do it now and not wait for like a true low fee environment. But anyway, let's go to every day, and then back to Rooney's.
So I think I figured it out, right? I've been wondering the same thing. Like, why would you mint something that's infinite supply, especially when the fees were higher? That was just kind of aping into it, right? The first thing. But I figured it out. The alpha for this group, I know there's how many people are in here? Don't want to share it too much outside of this group, but uncommongoods.com.
Yeah.
I think what those will do on that website will get you a good discount, right? There's some good Mother's Day deals on there. Father's Day. Nice. Don't knock it. It's a nice website. Like I can't figure out how to connect my Runes wallet to it just now, but that Casey's working on it. I know he is.
Fuck yeah. I hope so. That was funny. I actually pulled up my laptop to go look at it.
I did too.
I was like, what the hell? What the hell is this, right?
Gifts for mom.
There's some nice stuff on there. Get a scented candle. There was some funny, novelty gifts. I'm shopping right now.
Oh yeah. It'll be interesting to see where this comes from. I really hope now at this point people start speculating on common goods. If I were a miner, I would create some sort of token gate or some sort of, I don't know, game or project where you had to have a bunch of uncommon goods to enter. All right. So essentially you're just like paying a miner's fee. It's like a direct revenue stream. Obviously not every miner is going to get it because there's a fight for the block reward, but you can keep this going for 4 years. It's a nice little side hustle. So that was a good comment by, so I can't even pronounce your name on the YouTube. Aru Quividad. Did I get that right? We're going to go to Damien, or no, we'll go Rooney's, Damien, and then, yeah.
Hi, guys. Dr. Papa again. I'm sorry. I don't mean to get heated, but I believe the point of all of this is to have some fun. And the point of a meme is to say, F you, that's why. Okay? And I don't like it. And that's what's beautiful about this space is you can be on whatever chain and produce whatever content and hopefully have a little fun while you make your poor pains go away. Now, I believe Casey might also be doing some kind of lottery that he might be working on. That might also be a play for uncommon goods. It may be worth something considering. So I just want to say, I saw it. Don't mean to get heated. I just am so passionate about this stuff.
Woo! Let's go, Rooney's. Hooked on him. What's up, Damien?
I don't get why somebody wants to make pills popular, but okay.
Bro, because they make your pain go away.
I mean, I also don't understand why people want to make bloody upside down pentagrams and things are obviously like.
Bro, just haven't you learned enough? You've been in the blockchain space forever. Some people just don't get it. You don't have to get everything, bro. You don't have to get it all.
No, I get it. Actually, I've seen all the kids being kidnapped in the world, and I've seen how and why and what's going on, and I see that.
You really believe that that's what that is? He's taken the name Runes and made it Rooney's, bro. You can't take a joke.
No. I'm not saying Hooked on Rooney's is doing that specific. I'm saying that's that second part. I was talking more about like Casey's fun thing. It's like,
oh well, yeah. That's a little dark. We'll talk about that on
this wall. It's kind of whack.
It's a giant troll or a giant fetish, one of the two.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
That's not what we're doing over here, okay, guys? All right. We're just having some fun.
You're hooked on furries, aren't you, Rooney's?
No, sir. No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir. That ain't for us. But you do you, and you have some fun without hurting anybody. That's the goal. All right, and feel better. Get rid of their poor pains, and take care of each other. Because our goal is really to make people feel better through entertainment, through memes, through collecting. Okay, and that's all this got to be. Okay.
All right, let's do it.
Dude, I've been in this space 8 years, and I still understand a small fraction of it. Every day I wake up and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And it can be anything from the attention economy, right? The crypto industry, some sort of off-chain experience. There's just so many things in this space that I don't understand. I don't even claim to try to. You just try to build and hope that people use it in some capacity. But also from the builder side, we've learned that most of the things you build are not going to be used the way that you intentionally had perceived it to be. I mean, Emblem Vault is also one of those where it was originally built to be a DeFi protocol, ended up being used for historical NFTs. Like there's no way in hell anybody could have ever predicted that.
Well, what were you guys going to do with the runes? Like they're all minted out. It was all you took them all. No, we couldn't mint them.
Right. Yeah, it's a pre-mine. Yeah.
So what's up with that?
What's up with it? I mean, if you
had a chance to you could set the example early and you didn't.
No, so if you're, this is different. So if you're an individual and you want to have a free mint, then that's fine. But if you're a protocol or a project, if there's a token minted under your name, you are tied to that token forever. And if you're not ready to release it, or if there's no quote unquote utility or community, it is negative EV. There is no expected value coming from this. It's only downside. So if we had a free mint into, a community that's not built, or the infrastructure is not built to satisfy the things that we want to do, then you hold on to the token until the market reaches the maturity that you're ready to release it. So that's the reason. So it's the same reason why rune number 5078 is also fully minted out. It's the same exact reason. We like both of the ecosystems. We like Litecoin, we like Bitcoin. We determined that both of them are not mature enough to release a token to where our company name has to be tied to it, it's essentially in perpetuity. And that's the reason.
Gotcha. Well, that's good. Yeah, brand protection.
Yeah. I mean, right. There's a whole idea here where you could create, again, this is getting a little bit off topic, but for Emblem Vault, you could essentially create a private vaulting network using, Litecoin runes and using Litecoin ordinals, where you have Litecoin ordinals represent the Emblem Vault, and then you have Litecoin runes represent the token. When both you leverage Mimblewimble to have basically a private, Emblem Vault ecosystem or Emblem shipping container, right? That you could put whatever asset that you want. But obviously, through this conversation, we've shared that the Litecoin ecosystem is not anywhere close to that being a reality, or Emblem Vault being able to take on that initiative on our own to build it out. So we're encouraged and we like Litecoin, and we hope that there are builders who come in and build the ecosystem out, so we can build this kind of, crypto native product that allows you to move assets across all these different chains. But as of now, the Litecoin ecosystem or Litecoin ordinals ecosystem is not anywhere close to that being a reality. Although we do hope so, because that would be a really cool product. So,
well, we just got Lite client support, so that's huge.
Hey, we're watching, we're monitoring. We've been, again, Emblem allowed Litecoin ordinals and Bitcoin ordinals to trade for the first time on chain, right? Not on Bitcoin, but on a different chain of Ethereum. So we've literally been in the Litecoin ordinal space literally since it started. Same with Bitcoin. We were in the Bitcoin ecosystem, ordinals ecosystem, since it started. Same with Doginals. So we're watching and we're aware, and we have a pretty good pulse on all three of these ecosystems, and Bitcoin is just obviously so much further ahead than both of these. It's just like, it's not even close, but we do hope so. So
the mother chain almighty, praise her.
What's up, Asset? I saw you just came on stage, man. You have any thoughts or any contributions to the ongoing conversation?
Yeah, I was gonna say, as far as Bitcoin rules, I think, and let me first say this first. Thanks for hosting this space, by the way, and letting me up. I'd like to also say, as far as Bitcoin and everything right now going on, I believe that the bull market is subjective, because if you really do the research and just think about it for a second, just think to yourself, who actually said it was a bull market and a bear market, right? You probably most likely got that from someone on Twitter, or someone who said, hey, this is making money here, it's a bull market, that's how people think, right? But truthfully, honestly, I don't think there's even a bull market or a bear market in general. Because if you think about it, the way Bitcoin is made, it's made to do all of this stuff it's doing. No matter what we're doing, no matter how much money goes in and out, it's made to always do something every 4 years, right? So if you think about it, it's all subjective. Like, think about it this way. Your bull market might be someone else's bear market, because what happens is when people make money, someone has to lose money or sell, you know what I mean? So if you think about it all, it's just like, if you trust the entire process and just look at it as far as Bitcoin itself, everything that happens under Bitcoin is just happening because it's a narrative push, you know what I mean? Like, everything it created before and after Bitcoin is either something that had a narrative and something that had a narrative before and after that, right? Because Bitcoin was made, we don't know who made it, we don't know who's telling us what's important about Bitcoin, what's to invest in, we don't know what to do, right? We're all just lost. Everyone wants to say, hey, Satoshi, what's supposed to do now? What are we supposed to do? Like as far as runes, right? For example, runes narrative is a narrative, right? Although it is people creating on Bitcoin, which is correct, right? But at the same time, though, how do you know it's an actual bull market in runes as well? You can't really tell, right? Because everyone just bought into something. So think about it that way. Everything is subjective. You look at it from outside perspective.
It's great perspective. I mean, even outside of that, everyone widely considered last year to be, a pretty brutal crypto bear market, but ordinals were literally pretty much up only for the majority of that time, right? In quote unquote a macro crypto bear market. So the crypto industry is evolving to where you can have these bull markets, quote unquote, on an individual chain and be completely fine. I mean, look at Bitcoin and Solana have been pretty much up only for the last year and a half or so, and Ethereum has been relatively flat or even down.
Oh, yo, sorry about that. Let me add one more thing. This is important as well. So this is another perspective as well. Think of it this way. The chains that are actually being talked about a lot, it's also a narrative as well, if you think about it this way, because during the time everyone's been going from Ethereum to Solana and wherever else to Solana and Rose, whatever, this whole time, even though it's not marketed a lot, Tezos, Cardano, their technology is pretty amazing compared to Solana. A lot of it is, and people just don't talk about it because it's not pushed as a narrative, right? Marketing wise. So if I took $1 million of marketing and told you, hey, this chain has where you can make the most money for this next year, that's called a bull market for y'all, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Bro, narratives win, man.
Exactly.
Narratives win the day, man.
As long as I'm making money, it's a bull market.
That's it.
What's up, Damien?
You know what breaks every single narrative?
What?
Depopulation. Anything related to depopulation is going to break your narrative. Okay, your Bitcoin rising forever doesn't work if the Earth gets depopulated. So that should be your number one concern in cryptocurrency if you just want it to go up forever. That's all I'll say.
All right. Have babies, man. I agree with you. Have as many as you possibly can. Absolutely.
What's up, Roonies?
I agree with that.
Do Roonies help in the baby making process? Is that true? Can you confirm that?
Well, I think anything that makes you feel good makes you feel like maybe you'd be a good dad or a good mama, right? So if you feeling good, you might feel good enough to roll the dice and start a family. But just know that Bill Gates is coming for you. He wants you gone. Okay.
We try to keep this a non-conspiratorial space. We've done a couple of them. They haven't always been well received, our conspiracy spaces.
Okay. We can put a pin in that. That's fine. But I don't know. I agree. Everybody just get out there, live a good life. It's a recession if your neighbor doesn't have a job. It's a depression if you don't have a job.
That's
so
true.
It is all
There you
about
go.
perspective. Okay, so keep your perspectives right. Keep working hard and feel good if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think we're gonna wrap up the space here today. Runes have been up and down. The community sticking around. Builders are building. There aren't any new builders from what I've seen, but it does seem to be that the ordinal builders who have gained some experience over the last year are the ones that are now kind of leading the charge, which is exciting, right? Because it's more culturally native to have an ordinals builder find success in runes and to have somebody from a different chain come in and try to, espouse their culture onto Bitcoin through their protocol dominance. But it's going to be exciting. I mean, the market's down. This probably means there's tons of opportunity to find some runes that are undervalued or even build your own runes, right? At the end of the day, those of us who are sitting here now talking about this will be the ones who have found success in some capacity throughout the ecosystem a year later, just as us who are sitting here today. We're doing this a year ago in the ordinal space, trying to figure out what the fuck a BRC20 was. Turns out it ended up being a multi-billion-dollar market. So with that being said, I appreciate everyone for coming. Every day, Damien, Roonies, Major, Bitcoin of Hat, Rune Pepe, everyone. It was awesome. If you guys don't know, Adam, myself, and Chris, who are on stage, we work at Emblem Vault, the leading cross-chain NFT protocol in the industry. We host a show Tuesday through Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. We just talk about everything: runes, inscriptions, Bitcoin, stamps, etc. Tomorrow and every Thursday, we host our inscription show, where we cover everything from doginals, hashinals, stamps, counterparty, and all of the UTXO-based inscription ecosystems. We'll have another fun conversation, and maybe we'll cover some Litecoin ordinals. Until then, everyone enjoy the rest of your...
Oh, wait. There's one more thing.
Good.
Don't forget, if you think you were first, Rare Pepe did it first.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Even X-Copies tweeted that, so must be true. Until then, guys, we'll talk about Litecoin ordinals tomorrow, and hopefully our bags are going up. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday.